releasing a lot of new details concerning the political assassination of Representative Melissa Hortman, her husband, and the shooting of Senator John Hoffman and his wife. First and foremost, the feds are filing charges, murder charges, against him, which will, at this point, take precedence over the state charges that have been filed. And Vance Belter will make his first court appearance in just a little bit here at 1:30 at the federal courthouse in St. Paul. The most serious charges that are filed do carry the possibility of the death penalty, and Acting U.S. Attorney Thompson said that they will make a decision whether they will choose to seek the death penalty or not. During the course of the press conference, released chilling new details from the night of the attacks, including the fact that Belter stopped at the homes of two other lawmakers, one in New Hope and one in Maple Grove, and thankfully those lawmakers were not home at the time, and that would explain the hour and a half that took place in between the shootings at the Hoffman house and the shootings at the Hortman house. Also clarified were details concerning the Brooklyn Park officers that arrived at the Hortman house, literally witnessing the murders taking place. He was apparently outside the house when the police arrived, and he began shooting, possibly at officers, but for sure they witnessed him shooting into the house, enter the house, and commit the murders there at the Hortman house. Thankfully, because of that, they were able to, as we've been reporting, stop his shooting spree. They took control of his vehicle. He ditched his vest and his gun at the scene there. And within his car, we now learn that they found a total of 5 different weapons. We also received some clarification on what's been referred to as a manifesto, and again, that it's not like it's not a Unabomber-style manifesto that more clearly gives the ideology and political reasons for doing what he's doing, but that he had notebooks that included maps and research about their addresses. The names were Democrats. They clarified that, including elected officials and supporters of abortion rights. And so as far as motive goes, they clarified that they believe it was politically motivated and that his victims were Democratic lawmakers. But as far as getting more into the granular details of the ideology and reasons behind his motive beyond that, they don't have more information at this time. I asked a question about whether he confessed last night after being arrested and provide more details about why he did what he did, and they would not comment on that, so those details remain left to come out. They clarified that this was something that he had been planning for some time, and they attribute the evidence of the research that he had done in finding their addresses and the various things that he had written in the notebooks. Why don't you let me take a look at that criminal complaint. This was just filed. This is the criminal complaint that has the new charges in it, and I believe it'll have some of the photographs that we just saw during the press conference, including this is the image that had been released already of Belter knocking on the front door of the Hoffman household. That's where the surveillance camera was. Concerning the shooting, they went through specifically how he was able to enter the home, shining the flashlight in their faces as he repeatedly knocked and said, "This is police, this is police." Once the door was open and the flashlight was out of their faces, they realized it was not an officer, and Senator Hoffman attempted to push him out of the house, and at that point, that's when he shot Senator Hoffman and went inside and shot his wife, Yvette, as well. These pictures right here are from another doorbell that he rang after that. I believe this is the one in Maple Grove, either Maple Grove or New Hope. These are images taken from a doorbell cam there, where thankfully the official is not home. When he reached New Hope, there actually was an interaction with a police officer from New Hope who had gone by there to check actually on that politician's home. The officer apparently was confused and thought that he may actually be another officer who went there to help. She apparently rolled down the window and had interaction with him, and he just looked forward and refused to answer her, and he drove off at that point. This is a photo that shows the police-style lights that he had on his black SUV to make it look as if it was a police vehicle. Now, the license plate itself doesn't exactly look realistic, but it shows that he had police written on his license plate to disguise his vehicle as a police vehicle. This picture right here may be hard to see, but it's the footage when they arrived to the Hortman home, and he's standing outside the Hortman home right before he opened fire and entered that home. This picture here is the inside of his SUV. I believe these, according to the criminal complaint that was filed in Hennepin County, are AK-47 automatic rifles, a total of 5 of them, as well as there was another 9mm handgun in there. There's a notebook right on the driver's seat and other materials there. Okay, this is some photographs that we haven't seen yet. These are photographs of the actual notebook. Intellius, benverified.com, ownerly.com, these are all like public records websites that people could use. So apparently this is some of the things that he used in order to track down the people. Now here is some more writings with notes on some of the online searches that he has done. County Assessor's webpage using the GIS tool to look at property records. This is very, very involved searching through available public records that are online that he apparently used to find the addresses of the people that he attacked. Now here's a look at the Beretta 9mm handgun, the murder weapon that they were able to retrieve outside in the grass after he fled through the back of the Hortman home. And then here is the face mask that was recovered, also found outside the home. Let me see if there's any other photographs here. They found an online picture of the mask from like a website that he would have found to buy it from. They called it a hyper-realistic latex mask that he used to disguise himself when he knocked on the doors. And then here is, as we reported over the weekend, these images were taken from a bank. He went to U.S. Bank. It says that he, okay, there's more details in here, and we will flesh this out throughout the day, but it appears that he bought an e-bike and a Buick from a person after, at some point here in order to facilitate his escape. It looks like he withdrew more than $2,000 from a U.S. Bank branch in Robbinsdale after the shooting. Okay, he met a man at a bus stop in North Minneapolis that he had no prior connection to. Belter had 2 duffel bags with him, and he asked to purchase an e-bike from the witness. They traveled to the witness's house, and Belter agreed to purchase his Buick sedan as well. So he bought that getaway car and an e-bike from just a random person that he met at a bus stop, according to this criminal complaint. Here's a map showing, this aligns with the video footage that we showed throughout the day yesterday when the Buick was found on the side of the road in Sibley County on Highway 25, about 5 miles away from his home in Green Isle. It says that as they searched the vehicle, among other things, they found the cowboy hat, which of course we showed was in front of the vehicle, as well as a handwritten letter directed to the FBI. In that letter, he claimed his name was Dr. Vance Luther Belter. He admitted to being the shooter at large in Minnesota involving the 2 shootings that morning. So he apparently left a note in the vehicle confessing to the crimes. And then it goes on to say at about 9:10 last night, they located him in a field close by and took him into custody. So just going through this very quickly, a document that I haven't read yet, along with information from the press conference. There are a lot more details that we're going to sift through and be able to report today. Chilling details, a political assassination that is now being prosecuted by the U.S. Attorney's Office. I'll send it back to you.